In this video, we're going to look at how to get and use past values of variables. Getting past values of variables is extremely useful. You will see this when you start making more intermediate and advanced programs, because you will often need to check what the previous value of something was, such as yesterday's close, the closing price several days ago, for example, to compare those to current values. There are tons of possibilities, and this is something that's very useful to know how to do when programming. So for this video, I created a very simple program here. I've just created an external variable called var, which is just an integer with a default value of 1000. So let's look at this program. We know that var has an initial value of 1000, so that's going to be at the very first candlestick loaded on the chart. The value of var is going to be 1000. Then each day on the first bar of the day, we have decreased the value of var by 10. So just each new day on the very first bar, var goes down by 10. Now the reason that we've made this program is to illustrate how to get previous values in ProRealTime. To do that, I've created an additional variable here, old var, which is equal to the value of var 1 bar ago. And to write that instruction, I just wrote old var equals var with 1 in square brackets afterwards. Square brackets are the way to call the past value of something in ProRealTime. So since I've put 1 here, it's looking at the value of var 1 bar ago. If I enter 10, it will look at the value 10 bars ago, or 100, the value 100 bars ago. Let's just leave it at 1 right now, and then here on the chart, we are using the return instruction to display both var and old var. I've now zoomed on the chart here to look at the value of this indicator. We see that at the beginning of each new day, the first variable goes down. The second variable does not change during that very first bar of the day because it is equal to the value of the first variable 1 bar ago. The next bar it changes and both variables are equal again. For the rest of the day, the two variables will be the same again until the first one goes down on the first bar of the next day. Now let's open up the program again to modify it. We saw here that by putting 1 in square brackets, we could call the value of var 1 bar ago. We could change that to 2, for example, to call the value 2 bars ago. And here you can see that difference. We could also, instead of a fixed value here, use a variable, such as period. We could then define the value of period in the external variables so that it could be modified by the user. We just enter the name here as period, click add. Period has to be an integer because we can't have a split number of periods, for example 1.5 periods. You need to use a whole number such as 1, 2, 3, or 4 periods. The default value is 1, that's fine, so we just click close here and then add indicator to chart. We can see here in the properties of the variable that we can dynamically modify the period 1, 2, 3, up to, for example, 100. And here you can see the difference that makes. How can this be used in practice in programming? We can use this technique to look at past values of technical indicators, for example, to compare a current value to a previous value, or with price, for example, to look at open, high, low, or close, and past values of those as well. We'll look at an example of that in a future video.